Okay, so we've now moved on to the plasterboard stage of our project, and what we've decided to do is go with the Gyprock product by CSR. The reason that we've gone for this is to give it a good quality finish. They've got a good quality board, they've got good quality compounds as well. So some of the boards that we've got, they've got this new product called Optimised Core. It's the Super Seal product, which is used for the ceilings. So throughout, we're pretty much going with the 1200 wide by 10mm board, and the Optimised Core gives it a little bit extra strength, so it's a bit easier to handle for like a couple of guys. There's no sagging in between sheets. We've got our standard plasterboard, the 10mm by 1350 sheets. And the reason we've got 1350 wide sheets is we've got 2.7 high ceilings, so that should just make up nicely to get 2 sheets onto our wall. On the walls where we've got just our timber framing, there's not much barrier between the external elements, so we've gone for the impact check, which is similar to like a sound check board. We're using a good acoustic insulation, and then we're going to use the impact check board, and it's just going to give it a little bit more of a nice buffer between the external elements, just on that one single external wall. Everywhere else is pretty much double brickwork throughout the house. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a direct stick plasterboard over this. We've got some masonry adhesive, and I'll show you that as the project goes on as well. Put dabs of that on the brickwork, and then we'll just stick the Gyprock up on the walls, use a straight edge, and make sure that's nice and straight. So you can see behind me there's a little bit of Gyprock on the walls already. We've done this stairwell area. I'm going to continue on. We're going to do all the bedrooms, and I'll show you how that goes in, show you some of the insulation methods, how to glue it up, how to screw it into position, and then all the setting that goes along with it. Alright guys, hope you enjoy this stage. And you probably should check the installer's manual on the supplier's website. But we've got 1350 sheets. I probably want to come down with my glue about 100mm from the top, a couple of dabs at the top, same, leave a gap in the middle, a couple of dabs at the bottom, and then leave a gap at the bottom, because you don't want to screw through the glue. The whole idea of it is that the screws need to be independent of the glue, because if the timber frame shrinks, the screws can actually pop out through the face of the plasterboard. So just check that before gluing it up. Okay, so now I've got some room to start on this direct stick down the hallway. I'll finish this off. Once I've got these sheets on, then I'm going to move all those sheets back and put it in front of the wall. Like I said before, we don't call it the small space, big build project for nothing. Very small space. Whew. When doing this direct stick, you've got to check the brick wall to see how it is. That'll indicate how much of a daub of corner cement or masonry cement you need to put in certain positions. So, starting up here, the old original wall's pretty bad down the bottom. The rest of the new brickwork's pretty good. So we're going to have to pack it out a bit at the bottom. And that's the same majority of the way along. Now I'll put a cross where some of the deep spots are that we need to pack. And that way I know where to build up the corner cement a little bit more. Now the trick with this is not to aerate it too much. If you really aerate it, it goes off quicker. So it depends. If you want it to go off quick, aerate it up. But the more you mix it, the quicker set time you get out of it. Add a little bit of water. Just going to mix this up with my broad knife. You can see I'm using bigger dabs at the bottom because it's quite, brickwork dives in quite a bit there. And I'm spacing these out at every 450mm apart. So the next step is just to dab it on so it takes adhesion, and then use the straight edge to try and check where the next sheet's going to be and how far it needs to be tapped in. You don't have a lot of time to move with this stuff, so you're going to act fairly quickly. So what I'm doing is holding the level between the two boards to try and make sure that we've got the board nice and straight, and then we just work through the board. Alright, so we continue on with the sheeting now. We've done the back bedroom, we've worked our way down the hallway, we've done the direct stick around the brick walls in the bedroom here, we've got a little bit of direct stick to finish off down this side of the main bedroom, and then we've also got this back robe. Now, I'm going to start the robe now. We were a little bit undecided on whether we were going to have a concealed doorway through here, maybe just like a flush panel with the door, or whether to have the frame just finish short and walk around at the end. So after a lot of discussions with my wife, we've decided to actually go around the back. So the bed will be facing up against this back wall here, and you'll come around. This will be sheeted around here, and then you walk into the robe. So we're basically going to have robes down either side of this wall and this wall. And where all this ducting is, we've got a frame around this so we can conceal all that, maybe have some shelves and a few things. And then the last thing we'll do is just finishing off the ceilings above. Okay, so again, whenever doing gyprock on timber framing, put down your 10mm spacers at the bottom. And just keep the sheets up off the ground, so if there's any shrinkage or expansion or contraction in the timber frames, it's not going to pop the board off the wall. Okay, then we glue it up. So again, with your glue, jump on the manufacturer's website and just check what spacings you have to have the glue at. But the main thing to remember is not to actually screw through the glue. Okay, so we've got our board up off the ground, 10mm on blocks. We've got it glued up, boards on the wall. We've marked out where our studs are, so we're pretty much good to screw it off. Okay, so the best way to cut this gyprock is by using a Stanley knife. I like to use one of the long retractable ones, just so you can get into areas that are a little bit tougher to reach. Each your own. Some people just like the standard little Stanley knife with a short blade, but I love this one. So I'll show you how it's done. We'll measure it back, mark it. Some people use a T-square, I use a level, and then we crack the board and cut it off. So I mark the top, long level, grab my knife, and score the board, the back of the board a couple of times, making sure to cut through the paper. Once that's done, it's just a matter of moving the board out, cracking it, and then cutting it back. Okay, so a little tip when doing P50 shadow mould. You'll see I've got these packers here on the walls. Now the reason I put these packers here is so that when you put your ceiling sheet up, it leaves a nice 15mm gap all the way around your sheets, and you can then put this P50 mould in quite easily without having to, when you first put the sheets up, try and hold it, try and gauge how far it is off the wall. So once the sheets are up there, it's simply a matter of removing the packers. So then that allows enough room for the P50 mould just to slide right up there. Okay, now that I've got my cutouts done for where the lights are going to go, it's important I pull those down and make the wires pretty easily accessible so that when the sheet goes up, we can just feed the end through and pull it through. Okay, so there you have it. We're officially sheeted. Besides a few little small pieces here and there, we've got all the walls, all the ceilings done in the two bedrooms up here, and down the hallway. It's looking pretty good. So all we're going to do now is put in the P50 moulds all the way around the corners, finish off some corner angles around some of the windows, some casing beads here and there. So I'll show you that, I'll show you how the setting works, and that'll be it. With a little bit of sanding, and that's Gyprock stage complete. The best thing to use for sanding is one of these little blocks there. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a corner block. It's got a bit of an angle on both sides. Alright, that's our Gyprock stage completed. Hope you guys have enjoyed that video. Now stay tuned, because what you're going to see right underneath here where I'm sanding the ceiling is where our staircase is going to be installed. So in the next episode you'll see that being built and installed, and it's quite exciting because that joins up our ground floor area up to our first floor area. Up until this point in time they've both basically been separated, and we've been able to live down there quite peacefully and comfortably without too much interruption from the renovation. But now this changes it up a little bit. Now the two areas are joined, so a bit of excitement. But anyway, stay tuned. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up, like or subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers guys.